here's an overview of some of the ways you can customize your website. In addition to changing the logo, you can update the color scheme. Looking at the header and the footer, you can change the links that are on the header, the name of the link, and what's connected behind the scenes. You can also change everything that's on the footer. This is available, completely available to customize. In addition to the categories that come from the wholesaler, we've got a section currently at the top of images, and these can bring forward items and groups of items that are important to your company that might not fall into one of those categories. I can connect a list of items to my image. So in this case, I've just connected 10 items to this link. The images are very easy for the dealer to change, as well as the text that's underneath. This one I have connected to a search keyword. And this one is a little different. It's connected to 6 more images, another layer. So think of this as a subcategory, although it's not connected to the categories. It's just 6 images related to the one above, and each one is connected to keywords. Below that, I have a scrolling banner. This is a free-form HTML block that can be whatever you want. Below that are featured items, and these are items that are selected in the back office. And notice that everything is single point of entry. There's no reason to enter data in more than one place. Below that, we have featured brands. These images do not have to be brand logos, and this caption can be changed as well. But here we've got brand names, and they can be connected to a URL or connected to that manufacturer's product in your database. The same thing happens with 10 image placements that we have on the left. They don't have to be brands. They can be another image like this one, which is connected to a search keyword. So all of the sections that you see that are horizontal can be positioned where you want them in sequence. They can be removed completely or shown, and that's all at your discretion. There's also a section for recently viewed items that will show up if there are items that have been recently viewed. So those are some of the ways that the dealer can customize their own website. Let's take a look at some of the options we provide in sales pricing. So looking at the sales price list, and we'll work a little bit from back to front here, you can see that we have a starting and an ending date for pricing. Pricing can be assigned to individual customers or groups of customers, where this customer price group is on the customer record, and it allows me to assign pricing based on the group that the customer is in. I can assign pricing to all customers, or I can create an advanced price group, which allows me to include or exclude multiple groups or customers, where I might include the medical group but exclude one of the customers in the medical group. Any kind of combination can be put together in an advanced price group. Pricing can be in active or draft mode, draft while I'm working on it. And the priority determines when the price is selected for that customer and item combination, since I can assign multiple price lists to any given customer. Pricing can be done as a net price for an item or list of items, which is what you'll see in the contract type pricing. I can also take a discount from list or apply a percentage to the cost. I have another layer I can put on that, which is referred to as ceilings or floors, where with a ceiling, I can take a cost plus price and not go above list, for example. Or a floor would be a discount from list, but it would not go below a certain gross margin that I establish for that price list. I can lock in a gross margin on a net price contract as well. If we take a look at this one, it just has one item on it, but it's set to auto margin maintenance. So for all items that would be listed here, I'm maintaining the margin. Whenever a vendor would make a change to a cost, it's going to be automatically reflected in the selling price so that I can maintain the margin. So that's a general overview of the options we provide for sales prices.
Throughout the day, sales orders have been entered. Similarly, in the warehouse, people have been picking and packing according to their own business flow, business processes. That is all driven by this function called outbound warehouse request. I'm clicking on that. With outbound warehouse request, we will see all orders that have not yet been picked. I've changed that filter for this demo to include the items that have been picked. However, typically the warehouse worker would not see that. They don't have to worry about what's on the screen. They just have to go up to the menu bar, look for the command that says create a pick, and look for the drop down. If they're doing individual order picking, they would just click create pick. If they're doing wave picking, they would go down and click on create the wave pick. A wave pick, as we all know, is one consolidated list of all order lines, stock order lines that are to be picked, all brought to a staging area. At that point, they are broken into individual orders. This wave pick will create one big summary document, as I mentioned, in addition to the individual pick documents for sales orders. So the entire goal is to create a single walk through the warehouse. That's the common phrase. Let's talk about the procurement process. I'm going to go back to the sales order for a moment and look at that one sales order that had many different types of line items on it. As I focus on the wholesale line, note that all of the interaction with the wholesaler is automated. Users don't have to do anything. Throughout the day, scheduling takes place where orders are transmitted and confirmations come back, and the sales order is updated. I'm going to scroll to the right with the purchase order that has been created from that process. No user interaction is required. As a matter of fact, in a world where there is no warehouse, where all of your sales activity is related to wholesale only items, you don't really need any human beings except the people in the warehouse to get the product out the door the next morning. It's all that automated. Based on the specific job you perform, you will be presented with different functionality. Those sets of functions are defined in what we call profiles. And just for a brief moment, by clicking on this little gearbox up here and looking at my settings, you can see my profile right now. My role is the business manager. And I know it's just a brief look at the screen, but if I were to change that, and this is all driven by, the ability to do this is driven by security. If I were to change this to the inventory manager, for example, and say, okay, you'll see the screen change dramatically. Very different functionalities available because this person would have different jobs to do on a daily basis.